Hey guys, happy Friday. Becky Timms here for The Drive at 5. And today I just wanted to jump on here and give you some inspiring words and tell you that you can sell on Amazon. Anybody can sell on Amazon. So this morning, remember I listened to a training call every morning on my break. It's at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Hey Charlene, thanks for joining. And today I was listening to the training call through MLSP, and it was so powerful, guys. I mean, it was talking about telling your story, and Lisa Torres was on there and she was sharing her story. And I thought about my story. And I'll probably cry on this live, so if you see me cry and you want to jump off, it's totally fine. Don't feel sorry for me. It's all good, I promise. So she was telling her story, and just her telling her story made me cry, because when I talk to people, when I meet people, I connect like on a deep personal level. It's no like superficial stuff for me. And so, you know, earlier this week I was thinking, I know a lot of you may have MLM companies or network marketing companies where you have to recruit to make money and to, you know, sell products to people, etc. And I was thinking, if I had all the time in the world, I would love to call people all day and just learn about them, because people will tell you anything if you just listen long enough and you ask the right questions. And so I was thinking about that earlier in the week, but luckily for me, I sell on Amazon and I don't have to recruit anyone to make money. So it's like, if you want to make money, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But I want to connect with people, because that's just me, and that's how I roll. But as Lisa was telling her story today, and if you don't know Lisa Torres, look her up on Facebook, because her story really touched me. So here I am at work, and I'm a director at my work, so I work with an amazing group of people, amazing company, and I've never really came out and shared my story. In fact, this whole Facebook page that you're on now with like 5,000 friends, 5,000 people, they don't know my story. They don't know who I am. All you guys know me as the Amazon Queen. Now I have a personal profile. To be honest, I hardly ever go over there anymore, because you are my friends. You are the ones that I want to keep up with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And so as I was, as she was telling her story, I was thinking about my story, and I've told bits and pieces, and I've joked and things like that, but then I've never like really told my whole story. And so I thought, okay, I was already in a crappy mood yesterday, so I'll tell my story. It'll probably make you sad. It'll make me sad, but I'm a survivor, and so I'm really proud of that. And I know I'm not strong enough yet, but one day I will be strong enough to share this story, my story, with like up on stage or something. So right now I'm on stage and you're watching me and I'm crying, and it's okay. So most of you know me as the Amazon Queen, but did you know my mom was actually the polyester queen? Now, I'm not talking about the cute polyester. I'm talking about the knit thick polyester that was like popular back in the 70s. I was thinking, because I was reminiscing today after listening to Lisa, and I was probably about 9 or 10 when my mom got remarried. And no lie, I'm gonna have to go home and look this picture up. She got married in a darn green polyester suit, and he got married, he wore a red polyester suit. It was so damn funny. But anyway, looking back now, I'm gonna have to find that picture. They weren't married long, because he was an alcoholic and my mom owned a bar at that time, and of course it was a disaster. But anyway, they weren't married. My mom's passed away now. He's still living. I haven't seen him in like forever, but I know he's still drinking, etc. So anyway, my mom was a polyester queen, and I grew up in the Pink Palace. Literally, that's what they called my house, the Pink Palace. And it was a big house. It was like 9 rooms. It was a cinder block house, so there was no heat or air. I grew up very, very poor. We had a lot of land. My mom rented this house, so this was back in the early 80s. And my mom's rent, so when I was growing up, my mom's rent for a 9-room house was $75 per month, okay? And the guy that owned the house, it was like his parents' house, and I don't know how she found this place, but anyway, we lived there. It was $75 per month. And I remember when I was in college, but my mom's rent like doubled to $150 a month, and she about flipped out because when she didn't have a job, she she raised a single, and she did the best she could. But I remember, because there was a barn and there was a I don't know, like a place where a garage, but it wasn't really a garage. We had like wood under there, like we had to chop wood with an axe. I didn't. I just picked it up. But she because the taxes had changed in that area, then her rent doubled. And so for her being on a fixed income, that was a lot of money to her. But I remember how she didn't know what she was going to do. So I no longer lived there then, but when she passed away, it was still like $150 a month. And she rented that house for like maybe 20 years. 20 years. And even though it was the Pink Palace, it was like a dungeon. And no lie, this damn place was pink. I remember when I graduated, like when I was in high school, they painted it brown. But it was like a dungeon to me. It was like one of those Forrest Gump, Jenny kind of houses. And I recently went back there, maybe a year or two ago. And I go back often, but I think, and I swear, I don't want you to feel sorry for me, because this is so good for me. You have no idea. But I went back there, and I didn't throw stones at the house. I was so blessed for how far I've come from those days. But I remember when Lisa was talking today, and she was talking about her being on food stamps, and she was so embarrassed. And I remember when I was a little girl, my mom got food stamps, and I'm going to have to plug up my phone. So she got food stamps, and she went to the grocery store, and I wasn't embarrassed, guys, because that's how we ate. I mean, it was for real for us. But remember I said my mom owned a bar, and so she owned this bar, so she would get some cash, but every month she would get food stamps. And her brother was in Florida, and he had diabetes. So every month my mom would mail him food stamps down to Florida. So I lived in South Carolina. My mom lived in Florida. I'm sorry. We lived in South Carolina. Her brother lived in Florida. And she would mail him food stamps every month. And this was back when food stamps were like, food stamps, like paper. And so I don't know what happened. So I was like 12 years old, and she went to jail for food stamp fraud. And I remember I was 12. I was in the 7th grade. Now, I have 2 boys right now. One's in the 6th grade and one's in the 8th grade. So I was right in between the age that they are now. And I remember them coming to the school and picking us up, myself, my brother, and my sister. And so there's 5 years between us. I was the middle. My brother was 5 years older, so he was like a junior, senior in high school. And my little sister was 5 years younger. And I remember them taking us home, and we had to we got one black trash bag and we could pick up whatever. I don't even know what I got. I can't remember now. But I remember going to this foster home and they took us shopping and we got new clothes and a new toothbrush. And then I remember my foster home that I was put into was another dungeon. And I felt so betrayed because this was the state of South Carolina that put me in their custody. And I was so hurt again. And I used to pray to God, please God, if I ever get married, two things, give me boys. So one, they never ever have to go through what I went through. And the second, as I'm looking at myself right now, is I never wanted to fix anybody's hair. So that's why I wanted boys. And thank God I have two boys and they can do their own hair because I could care less about doing hair. But so God answered that prayer. And I remember my mom, we were gone for 9 months, and so I went back home and I posted on my Facebook wall today about how I want to learn how to cook, because when I was growing up, my mom was a great cook, but I was so busy studying. And hey, Melissa actually went to high school with me. I was so busy studying so I could get the hell out of there and leave and never ever go back. And that's what I wanted, and that's what I did. Now today I really miss that because I want to learn, I want to cook, but it's easier to make reservations. And when you make a lot of money, you can make a lot of reservations, but you can gain a lot of weight too. So anyway, I just wanted to share my story. So now I spend my time, I have these little girls, they're like in the 4th and 5th grade, and I go mentor them at their school, and it's like the best thing for me to see me in them when they were that age. And so actually the first little girl that I ever mentored was about 5 years ago, and she found me on Facebook last week, and she sent me a message, and I said, hey, can I call you? And so I called her because now she's moved to Texas, and I want to go and call her and check on her now. But speaking of that, if you have any extra means to send any money to any of the people in Houston, I'm sure they would really, really appreciate it. And especially if you're doing e-commerce and you have extra funds, definitely think about them and the situation that they're going through right now. But anyway, Alyssa called me, or I called her like last week or the week before, and she said she was doing good, and she's not in South Carolina anymore, and she's in Texas. And it was just really good to talk to her and to see how she's hopefully doing well. And I miss her. I have other girls since then, but they're not the same as the first one, which was Alyssa, who was the first mentor that I had, or mentee that I had. And I think it was because I saw myself in her so much. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. That's my story, so you can do with it what you want. And I was thinking, I'm not ashamed. I don't want you to feel sorry for me, because I did study. I went on, and you could easily see how I could be a statistic. But I went on. I actually have 2 master's degrees. I made tons of money on Amazon. And so it really doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter if you were poor growing up, because we had some awesome government cheese. And if you didn't grow up poor, guys, I'm sorry, you're missing out on like the best cheese from the 80s. If I could buy the government cheese. And so yeah, that's definitely what that would be on my priority list, the government cheese from the 80s. But so if you grew up poor, you can sell on Amazon. If you were you know, lived in hell and were sexually molested, you can sell on Amazon. If you dated an alcoholic, I ended up dating an alcoholic for a while, you can sell on Amazon. If you, you know, I spent so much money on therapy. I probably could be a therapist right now. So I just want to inspire you. I know, Sean, that was some good cheese. I just want to inspire you to do whatever you want to do, you know, because you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything that you want to do, and you just have to decide that you're not going to be a victim, that you are going to be a survivor, and you can make it through to the other side. And you know, people are like, well, why would you tell this story, Becky? Well, one, you know, my mom's passed away. My brother and sister, they're out in the world doing their own thing, and I promise you, me telling this story is not going to make them worse or bad or anything. That it's probably a good thing for them. They probably need to tell their story too, but I have nothing to lose. You know, I thank God every day, twice a day, 3 times a day for my husband Bud, because he's like, he had nothing. I mean, he had like the perfect little life growing up, no problems, never did drugs, nothing. I'm like, wow. Which I never did drugs either. I smoked marijuana one time. It put me to sleep. I was in college. And you know, that was crazy because my brother in high school, they called him Big Daddy Rat. And he had like every drug you could think of, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to make good choices so I could get out of there. And I did. So, with that being said, it's Friday night. I'm heading home. I'm going to take a shower, take my son to the ball games. If it doesn't rain, it might rain. I'm not sure. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope this inspired you to be whatever you want to be. Lisa Torres, thank you so much for sharing your story today. It really touched my heart. Hope you all have a great weekend. See you on the drive at 5 on Monday. Bye.